Okay, let's take this 1974 Land Rover Series 3 88-inch short wheelbase genuine factory station wagon for a spin. All light ignition light come up properly, it starts nicely. I've done over 100 miles in this now. From the people I picked it up from. Long journey back and it drove really well. Let's take it out on the road, see what we make of it. Just a really nice driving Series 3 and a proper original station wagon, so it has overdrive and freewheel hubs and all the sort of sound deadening bits and pieces that the station wagons had. Quite unusual to find these. Starts nicely, there's no misfiring, hesitancy or overheating at all from the motor. The temperature gauge is sitting at about 1/4 now. It certainly doesn't go much over the halfway point, even at high speeds. And this one actually will do 60 miles an hour. I've had it on the motorway quite happily at 60. Engine seems very nice on it. Gearbox is splendid. I think, according to the history, it's had a rebuilt gearbox about 3 years ago, but it's very nice and tight and correct as it should be. No synchro problems, no jumping out of gear or anything like that. And it has overdrive on it as well, which is remarkably quiet. I'll put it into overdrive in a minute. There we are. And unusually it's not whiny the way that most of the overdrives are on these now. The bill isn't clear if that was done at the same time, but certainly the overdrive is not normally as quiet as this on one of these. Let's take it out of overdrive again. The whole drivetrain feels pretty nice and secure. There's very little, in fact minimal backlash in the transmission, just backing off sharply. No more than that. It steers nicely, it's going where it's put, it's not wandering all over the road. And all the gauges in front of me are working properly. The only thing you do get occasionally is the choke light does sort of flicker occasionally, although the choke is off at the moment. Braking wise, it does stop nicely. I had an emergency stop on it the other day and it managed to pull up properly. The only thing you probably would say is that there may be a little bit of air in the system, because it certainly works a little bit better after a quick dab on the brakes, but I'll just show you that it does actually stop properly. Now, not bad at all actually. And that was without a previous dab on the brakes. There's no servo on one of this age. But they're not like modern cars from that respect, so don't expect them to be. Let's say no synchro problems on the gearbox at all. It's pulling nicely in third now. And let's say because it's a proper station wagon, it's a lot quieter than a conversion one, because you've got the full headlining in there, which takes out a lot of the drumminess, but also there's sort of extra sound deadening on the seat boxes and bulkhead and things like that on a station wagon, as they're only ever civilian vehicles. But as a series, it drives really well. Don't think I've had any other series that drives quite as nicely as this. Certainly not many. About as nice as you can expect, really. Pulls away in second nicely. As I say, really top-notch gearbox on it. Into overdrive. There we have it really, it just bumbles along really quite happily. Showing 38,000 miles. I think we've got a fair amount of history with it, but not enough to say whether the mileage is genuine or not, so Probably best to assume it isn't, but all the gauges are working, speedo, fuel gauge and temperature gauge. Heater blower motor works. Well, does it actually? I can't hear it very well in a minute. Let's see, let me turn into here. Yes, it is. I can hear it now. Now we've slowed down. That's about it, I think. My name's Simon. You can reach me on 0771 906 9353 or in the office on 0118 946 3352, or you can go to our website, which is www.motodrome.co.uk for any further info. End.